Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Welcome back to my channel. You're tuned into the Rose Family channel. I'm the beautiful Rose. Welcome, guys. Before I start anything or say anything, I just want to apologize for disappearing for a little bit. I had to, guys. I really had to. I'll tell you what's involved in this video in a sec. But I just want to say to you guys, Happy New Year! Happy New Year, guys. I wish you all the blessings, lots of love, just best wishes for the new year, or everything that's positive, guys. I really send it out to you in that energy, guys. Keep putting one foot forward, keep getting up, keep showing up, keep doing, keep resetting, guys. And I wish you guys a blessed new year. And I also want to say, I really appreciate you all out there. Thank you, for sticking with me throughout 2024. There's so much things to be thankful for, guys. But, I just did not want to get up and come and make a video and just acting as if everything is okay. So I'm going to, try to break down stuff from 2024, the ending of it, and just discussing all of that. And trying to unblock how I'm feeling, because I feel very blocked. And I thought, I wanted to do this video in 2024, but I don't know, every time I planned in my mind to do it, it just never happened. And I've just been spiraling downhill after that, really, to be fair. I probably should have initially, once I was feeling a certain type of way, I should have just come and do the video, and maybe things wouldn't have probably escalated a bit. You understand from this video and God's willing the second one. But I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to come and I'm going to sit down and have a chat with you guys about everything that's been on my heart, and just kind of confess, in so to speak, discuss stuff from the ending of the year, and things that hasn't gone too well for me, that I'm not so happy about. I just didn't want to come and pretend that all is well and it's business as usual, because I feel fake, I feel like a hypocrite, etc, etc. So guys, at the ending of the year, in December, I didn't do Vlogmas because I couldn't manage to do Vlogmas. There's just so much stuff on my mind. I couldn't do it. I had made plans in my mind to go spend Christmas with my mom, and having to take all the children along with me as well. So there was so much going on. Christmas wasn't at my house, so it was very chaotic, and I just knew that it wouldn't have been possible to kind of do Vlogmas. But anyway, I started still continue doing my little 1 and 2 vlogs here and there, and then in the end I thought I'll do 5 days of Christmas. And in those 5 days of Christmas, I think by that time I was down in Basingstoke, Hampshire with my mom. So, yeah, it was a bit more easier to kind of vlog and kind of take you through those 5 days a bit. So sometimes the episode wasn't really highlighted as it probably should have been, because maybe would have received more views then based on the topics, but I just kind of kept going in the 5 days of Christmas, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5. But things kind of start going a bit left in a way, we went down. First of all, let's just start from this bit. When I was packing and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way we could travel down on the train, because there was so much stuff. Imagine having to pack 4 kids, plus there was some gifts, there was things, because I wanted to do a little party for my mom just to celebrate her life. You can see those in the episode of the 5 days of Christmas. And there was so much stuff to carry. So I was just really thinking going on a train is just not going to be possible. So but those guys that knows me out there and been watching for a while probably noticed that I am not a long distance driver. I just drive in my town of Penzance, really, to be fair. I just drive in Penzance. I'll go to the nearby towns, but I haven't driven like more than an hour's drive before. And going to my mum is like nearly 5 hours, 4.5, nearly 5 hours, depending on what take place on the road. So it was very ambitious in my mind to think that I'm gonna like take the car. But I kind of start homing in, like, once I assessed my situation in terms of like, oh, the train ain't gonna take us because we just have too many stuff, and the amount of money would have cost me as well. I just start, just really getting in tune with God, and, just asking him, maybe this is a tall order, but I just pray you get us there, because I'm deciding I'm taking my car. So, and that's what I did. So it was a lot of processing with the packing and organizing everybody individually, and making sure that they have enough stuff for this time that we're going to spend with my mom, and packing other things that's affiliated with the party, lugging everybody in. I think one of my neighbors was going to work when I was packing to go, because it was like early hours. I decided to take the road on early and not leave it too late. In the end, I think we left probably gone 6 to 7, because I stopped to get petrol, and we were packed to the brim. I was just saying all the prayers, all the prayers in the world, God take us there safely. Even when I told Angelo's dad that I was driving, he didn't say anything, but obviously he knows, I know, I ain't ever taken on such a long journey before, and I myself, like, I don't know the roads. I have to rely on the tom-toms and stuff like that. But I took courage in to know that one time I left and drove somewhere that I haven't been before, and using the tom-tom, I am really good at listening to the tom-tom. That's how I use my tom-tom. I'm a listener. I'm not a reader of it, because that would just throw me off. So I find it works for me if I listen. And then my daughter, Tilly Rose, I find that when she is with me in the car, in the front of the car, she's quite good at reading it as well. So I just feel a bit comfortable. So those are the things I was just cross-referencing and thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna be fine. But yeah, when I tell Angelo's dad, thank God he didn't say anything. He just, he knew that once I said I'm gonna do it, and the children always put their safety first. So that was good. I ended up servicing the car. He helped with that, and making sure that the car was in a fit state to take on the journey, so to speak. So I did that as well. So it's like, we spent like so much money. It cannot be calculated. But anyway, we took on the road. Initially I was thinking, oh, I'm going to vlog this, But people, when I tell you, because of all the anxiety of all the planning, I'm tired in a way. So, taking out a camera wasn't the first thing on my mind. I was just thinking, when I got to the morning, I was just thinking, let's get packed in the car, and we're just going to have to go, forget about the whole vlogging thing, because that's going to throw me off my concentration, stuff like that. The roads are pitch black. Even at 7 o'clock in the morning, the roads are pitch black. Anyone that lives in the UK can confirm. 7 o'clock in the morning is still dark as ever. It took me a long while driving before it started getting a bit light. Anyway, I took on the journey, and, nervous in my spirit, but I have to compose myself, because, my car is chock-a-block, and I've got my children with me. So I held myself together, drove, and Tilly was sitting in the front. It's smooth, and any little thing. I remember there was a point where I was coming up on the roundabout, and maybe I was taking the roundabout a little bit faster than I should. I remember one particular roundabout, when I was taking it, Tilly just said to me, Mom, slow down on this roundabout. This is my little teenage daughter telling me, you know, Mom, and as soon as she said it, I kind of kept my speed to even a more minimum. There's this, I don't know if this van coming from my right. Obviously, I know I have to be checking and waiting. But the way the van just shoot across me, I was like so shocked. Shoot all the way across my car, because obviously he's coming from the right on the roundabout going, and I don't know where he's going. And maybe in that moment, I'm assuming that maybe he's going to come from the right, but he's going to divert somewhere else. But literally on the last road going that's where he just comes straight across the car. And I'm just thinking, suppose I was like rushing this roundabout. So, you know, at that time, I just felt like God put it in her spirit just to say those words to me. And I was just grateful God took me through and took me to my mum safely. And we got there safely, and, you know, we were so happy. My mum was so happy to see us. You know, I didn't say to anybody that I was going to drive. When I told my mum that I drove down, my mum just could not believe it. And, you know, it was just a great, joyful moment. Then it kind of, a day, I think it was the day before Christmas, I decided to take Angelo in town and take him to the cinema. And I was thinking, you know, I'm going to do my toes and stuff. So took Angelo into town. I was showing him around. I was telling him, you know, this is your town. This is where you were born. Explaining a few things to him. And, you know, it was me and him and his brother and Tilly that got into town. But Tilly went off with one of her schoolmates, like from years ago. But they always kept in contact, and they always meet up most of the time when she goes to Basingstoke. You know, I'm happy with them and stuff. So Tilly went off to do her thing with her friend. And Deshane hang around with us in the end. And we ended up going to cinema before I done my toes. And then after that, I kind of, we were so happy. The movie was so good. We watched Sonic 3, and it was so good. You know, it's a kids program, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and just chilling in the cinema in the old town. It just was just so peaceful and refreshing. Even saw one of my literal, like, old neighbors, like, literally from like 2 doors down. See one of my old neighbors and stuff like that. And after the cinema now, I decided, let me sort my toes out. So luckily I said to Deshane, oh, can you just walk Angelo through the town a bit more and, you know, hang out with him while I go and get my toes sorted out. Went into this nail shop. They said they don't take cash. Sorry, they don't take card. I'll need to focus on this story, so I need to get it right. They don't take cards, so it's cash. So I literally, you know, went back out, get the cash, go back in, sat down. I vlogged all of these things. And then in the end, they direct me to the chair to do my feet. You know, I'm a bit funny with my feet. In this life, guys, people take offense. Like, you go into a place and you explain to them, you know, I'm willing to pay the same price you would charge for a pedicure, but I don't want XYZ done to me. They take offense. So, you know, it was all right until I sat in the chair, and then I realized that the equipment isn't up to what I'm going to be, like, willy-nilly going along with. I noticed that they still use the old-fashioned graters that they use on everybody's feet. You know, that's the grater that's going to come on my way. Yeah, they might have sterilizer, but I've gone past those type of life. I've gone past those type of things. I barely want to be allowing my feet in other people's hands, so to speak, let alone thinking in my brain that these things are being used on people, so it's going to be used on me. So I started from one thing saying that, one, I didn't want the gel to go back on my toenails, because I realized it's their strategy to put gel on your nails. You can't get it off at home, and next minute, you know, you have to end up back into a nail shop. So I reckon that's their strategy. You know, you go into a nail shop, at the end of the day, you should have some involvement over what happens to you, or what you would be liked, what you would like to be done to you. You're the customer, you know. maybe I'm old school, but I've always still followed a motto that I've grown with in training, in different job roles, in different walks of life. Customer is always right, so to speak, you know. But I feel like I'm still kind of like trying my best to be respectful. But I'm telling these things, and the person that's doing my toenails, this is a man. So I'm telling him, you know, listen, I'm willing to pay the same price, whatever the price is, but can I not have my feet grated? So when I'm talking to him, there's the manager and another lady there that seem like they're the one that interject into stuff that don't even involve them. But, you know, and they're all talking, and the first thing, they're talking in their own language, because, you know, that can be very off-putting. In this modern time in life, you having people having, you know, this has been going on for years. Whether you know, I'm just going to spill out the experience I have with who does these things. I'm just going to be honest. I remember over the years, the Africans, they do that. And obviously, I'm an African descendant. Yeah. They do that very much. When you go into their environment, they start speaking in their own language. You don't understand a word they're saying. And sometimes it could be in a state where maybe they're just relating something to somebody, but it could be in a state where they're chatting you, or they're undermining what you're saying. The Chinese people do that as well. And obviously, I'm realizing that the Chinese people and other countries that could be deemed, you know, I could stereotype to say these people are from China when they're not, kind of thing. But they look, you know, I can't, you know, there's so much different countries now, and, you know, this is such a modern world, such as everything. You guys should know by now. I don't care who you are. Once I'm getting bad treatment, I don't care if you're black, white, pink, yellow. I don't care. I'm going to speak up for myself. You guys should know this by now out there. So, you know, bar the countries, but they start speaking in their language in the shop, and you can see that the manager, that's what I'm assuming, because she's seen that the one in charge, you keep butting in, and she ain't even the one that's looking after me. So, from time I said I didn't want the equipment, the greater thing, and whatever else that is not disposable, use on me, their back is up, and the languages, they start chatting in their own language. English, we're in an English speaking country. This is Britain, this is the UK, this is United Kingdom, you know, all of this list goes on. This is where we are, and they're in their shop in Basingstoke, Hampshire, banging on in their own language to each other. And, you know, in whatever dialect you're talking, people know when you're talking about love, when you're talking in anger, etc., etc. You know what kind of them is coming, no matter what language. So they're there, and so we move on to another segment now where I said, I just want normal nail polish on my nails. That was her way in again. The same woman that's not even looking after me start banging on, oh, that takes 2 hours. At first I thought she said 6, or I said she said 6, whatever. If you go back and watch the video, like I said, in those 5 days of Christmas, it's just episode. So it kind of got lost in transition. What video, you guys, is you know, I didn't title it to say that they turf me out the nail shop. You know, once my feet is in water, this is what these people are doing. So to cut that story short, because there's so much to digest, you know, this may be like 2-3 videos I'm gonna have to do to catch up. So that's when the woman start again. And they would adamant that they're not doing me. This time, they start filing off the gel off my toes, and my feet is in water, guys. You see that I've vlogged it and everything. And they started on me, and the whole shop, you know, they went silent because they were about their business. And once I start talking, it was like, obviously, sometimes they have this narrative when you're black and you start speaking, you're being aggressive, and all the rest of it. till I have another woman butting in, talking in regard to say that, oh, maybe it's my tone. This time, you know, my tone only switch when they're trying to kick me out the shop and saying they're not going to be looking after me. Nobody to come to my defense. I remember one of the time when they're acting as if they don't understand the English that's coming from my mouth. They're speaking in another language. They don't understand the English that's coming from my mouth, but they have other English-speaking persons in the shop. Because, like I said, we're in the UK. Well, they were acting as if they don't understand what's coming from my mouth. So I was the problem. And, you know, to be honest, guys, that time, it was my time of the month as well. So I know, sometime in the time of my month, like, normally I don't leave my yard because I know the enemy is ripen. I don't leave my yard. Anyhow, I'm having all of these things processing in my mind, but I'm still trying to get myself sorted out. It would have to be another English person now come in and say, you know, as if she's interpreting my English for me, giving back them what I'm saying. It was a mess, guys. It was a mess. Long story short, they tried to kick me out of the shop with my feet, started, and they're not going any further. So I started getting a bit tearful and thinking, oh my days, I'm under fire, I'm under attack. I'm the only one here. What harm can I cause to these people? There's multiple of them, and the whole energy is trying to make a statement to make me feel crap. So I thought to myself, right, you lot gonna see. At first I thought, you know, I'm gonna call the police. I'm thinking, I ain't got no case to call the police. I'm not an idiot. What am I calling the police for? All they're gonna be telling me is to move along, basically. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna sit in this chair and I ain't moving. So normally if I was on my own, if I never had children, trust me, I'll be camping in there the whole night. But so I'm sitting there as long as I can possibly can. And they don't know what I'm up to. I'm just sitting there. I start watching my phone, vlogs on my phone. I'm just getting comfortable sitting there thinking, you lot think you're going to come and tell me to get out of here and trying to shame me and kick me out your shop. And you think I'm just going to go out like a dog, willy-nilly. Well, I'm going to inconvenience you people as well. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to demonstrate for as long as possible. Bearing in mind, Deshane and Angelo is out in the town centre, so I'm registering the fact that they're out, and I'm thinking, you know, oh my days, my children is out there, and I'm getting myself into this pickle now. I'm going to have to play out as long as I possibly can without it affecting them. Anyway, I kind of rang Deshane and gave him the heads up a bit and tell him what I was up to and what had happened. So, one of the time they were saying, oh, cool. Like I said, I'm going to call the police at first, but I ain't going to call the police because I know that what am I going to tell the police? So they were saying, oh, call the police, call the police. In the end, like I said, I scratched that idea. I just sat there. In the end, they called the police. When they called the police, you see me recording some of it, but I didn't manage to catch all of it. Because when the police spoke, and I let them know that I know that they can't physically remove me from the shop, so I'll be sitting here, and I explained to them very clearly that basically what I'm doing, based on what they're saying, and what the police said, that they can't force them to work on my toes, I'm saying, well, I'm going to be sitting here as long as possible to inconvenience them. Then the police said to me, you know, I totally understand from your point of view, but our hands are tied, what would it take for you to leave the shop? And I ended up saying an apology. They start demonstrating that I need to apologize to them because I was racist, and they kept going on. So I said, you know, well, if it deemed that I was racist by saying next time I see a Chinese nail shop, I'm not going to go in because they were banging on about the fact that they're not Chinese. I couldn't depict the difference, you know, so I think to myself, okay, I put my hand up. Maybe that was racist on my part in a way, which not really, because, you know, sometimes we assume. So I think it was an assumption, not a racism thing on my part. But that's what they want to draw up. So, and I said to the police, I felt like I was racial profile as well, because I was like the only black person in the shop at the point when I was in there, and they were making their point to treat me like a dog. So anyway, the police said they understand from my part, and they understand. And when they're trying to get them to apologize, they didn't want to, and it was a whole drawn out thing. But I was adamant that that's what I'm going to compromise and take the apology, because I know my kids are out there somewhere looking for me to turn up. So, but that's what it's going to take. Or I'm looking to sit there the whole time. This time, we're talking about maybe like 3, 4 o'clock, and maybe they close maybe 6, 7, I don't know. But I'm just thinking, you lot think you were just going to send me packing, kick me up the arse, and say, bugger off out of here, da-da-da-da. And I was standing up for the people, because I know of my walks of life. It's not the first time these people do these things. It's not the first time. So I was making my statement. And the police was saying to them, well, basically, if you want it out, you're not going to have to fork out the apology. So I quickly gave my apology to say, if you think I was being racist, I do apologize for that. But, you know, you can understand where I'm coming from, to say, once I see somebody like you guys, I'm going to have to be mindful of if I come in or not, based on the fact that you lot could, you know, start me and kick me out willy-nilly. Well, I quickly do mine, and they done. You can tell the woman, get up, come, yeah, and she started. Sorry if I'm doing it again, you know, but I'm just trying to make a point. I'm not being racist, guys. Far from it. And she's there going on, and, you know, she don't want to make the apology, and she's going back over the story, and then I could see the police reading up that, I see the problem. You lot are the problem. But they didn't know I was going to take it so far to the point where they had to put some respect on me, instead of with their way thinking they can treat anybody willy-nilly. I mean, my days, I think that was absolutely disgusting what they done. You know, and it just triggered me back into a place where negative vibes, negative feeling about Basingstoke just rising up on me. I'm thinking, oh Lord, you know, back into this town that I've already crossed a line through, and I'm kind of like erasing the line, trying to, you know, have a good positive vibe and a good energy about, and here I come trying to sort my nails out just like that. But here the enemy is ripen. So this is what's taking place with me. So I feel out of sort, and I'm just really, you know, thinking, if it ain't for my mom, I'll be nowhere here. I'll be nowhere here. But anyhow, they done their half-ass apology, and I took it, and you know, came out with the police, and I kind of spoke with them, and at the same time I'm talking to the police, Angelo and Deshane came up, and I showed the police, you know, these are my kids. Even when they were talking about the racist thing, I said, listen, one thing about me, I ain't racist, yeah? There's my boy, yeah? Got my mixed race child there. He ain't no racism in any way, shape or form. Bad treatment for me is bad treatment. I don't care who you are, what color you are, whatever. You know, I'm going to make my point, and it ain't going to be really nothing to do with race in terms of like what I'm boiling it down to. It's going to be about people. And if I'm deeming in my mind that a person is from a particular place, I will say, yeah? Even if they're British, I will say, oh, so-and-so, you guys watch my vlogs and watch certain video, and you see when I get bad treatment, me just come and tell you guys what took place. Anyway, so I went off with my kids. I went and I found a different nail people, and I don't know where they're from, but being like stereotyping, I think they're part of the Chinese nation, or, you know, I don't know. But it was like the actual nail shop I was looking for in the first place before I walked myself into. And nobody can't tell me that nail shop that I went, that they're kicking me out, it ain't bad vibes and bad energy. Nobody. I didn't call them out. and their name, but nobody can't tell me. But the nail shop I was looking for in the first place was Apple Nail Shop that I used to go through when I was in Basingstoke, and I forgot that they had moved. But when I found them in the end, I realized, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I remember when I was living in Basingstoke, they were actually moving to this place, but it didn't click in. I just assumed that they were still on the stretch that I normally used to go. But anyway, that's where I went and got my nail done. You can see where my nail's so weak and that even split, where the guy, by the time he started working on me, he split my nail. But I didn't lose it or nothing with him. I just thought, you know what, is what it is. He glued it up, sorted me out the best way, and it was a much better service, and to the point where I tipped them. Yeah. I think it was a $5 each, because it was 2 different persons that worked on me. I tipped them and I left. Anyhow, I think this video is long enough. So that was one part of the segment of what took place. You know, then by the time I went home, I started realizing that my son is not well. Because I went there, saw him lying down, he wasn't doing anything much, but I thought to myself, that's not like him. But I think, oh, maybe he's just changing the environment, because we was all in the living room chatting, and he, because one of my nieces was there with her partner, everybody else was in the living room, and he was just chilling in the room, and I clocked it, but I thought, oh, maybe he's tired and stuff. But then, in the end, later on in the night, I started realizing he wasn't well, and that started going downhill real fast, people, real fast. And he started deteriorating in the night, the coughing. I got up, gave him some Calpol and gave him some tea, but the way it was going on, I knew that even if I stayed home, I'm going to have to get him out and up the hospital. So in my mind, I was like, oh, Hail Mary, Mother of God, you know, what is going on? And that's exactly what I had to do. By the morning, I had to get myself up, jump. I was too nervous to even drove. I had to call a taxi to get us up to the hospital straight away. And when I tell you, thanks be to God, thanks be to God. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, people, we just got seen straight away, back to back to back. And like I said, I lived in Basingstoke, Hampshire for 10 years plus. And I've been up to that hospital and I know how it can be. And when I tell you, we did not have to wait 1 minute to be seen. God was on our side. It was like from signing into the main office, because the entrance I went in wasn't even the normal one I'm used to. So I just was second guessing the emergency bit. But there was like a little door on the side. And the Spirit said to me, I looked up and I saw the emergency highlighted on there. And I said, you know, I called Ramar back from where he was going, which would have been the main bit I'm used to. For some reason, the Spirit just tell me to call him back. And I said, let's go into this bit. And as soon as I was going into that door, I saw a black lady, and I said to her, are we in the right place? And the woman said yes. When I tell you, people, another thing, everybody will come and chat about race and this, that. But representation is pinnacle in this life. I'm sorry, representation is pinnacle in this life. Yeah? Because I was so glad to see. So you guys out there in school, learn what you need to do to be in the right places. Yeah? The reception was like a Caucasian lady, very nice. From the reception to the black lady to another black guy, they were all nice. They see Ramar back to back to back, and he needed to be seen back to back to back, people. He needed to be seen. Look like my battery is running low, guys.